What am I grateful for today? I'm grateful for the Shinedown concert that I went to yesterday. Posted a video about it before I went to it on the day of the event, but by the time you see this gratitude video, it'll be way in the future because I want the gratitude ones to go in the order that they came. But I had two goals. I had one main goal, and that was to try to let myself relax enough to join in with more of the active participation, which I don't always do. I do some, but it's usually muted because it's just self-consciousness. So that was my main thing, and to pay attention to my state, my internal state, and if I feel something, to try to pause and go into it and see what's happening. And I did participate. I talked with my neighbors, just not very much, just a couple little quick sentences. And one of them didn't even, he responded, but didn't really seem to engage. So I was like, oh, fair enough. I didn't bother him. And it was okay. And I was singing along with stuff I knew. And there was some stuff I didn't know, but I chose, I'm just going to try to make noises as close as I can, which is something I never would do. There was a lot of self-consciousness going on in my head, but I was just like, that's cool. It's cool. It's fine. It's like, the point is the energy we're participating, is okay. And, moving some and jumped up and down when they told and raising the hand and stuff. So, maybe I wasn't quite as into it as some other people, but I was doing well for myself. So I was very happy with that. There was some times when I could feel some anxiety, but I settled in. That was more leading up to it. But partway through the concert, I actually felt myself start closing up physically. My right arm went straight down, and I was holding my lower right arm with my left hand in front of me, and I just didn't really want to move. But then I noticed it after a little bit, and I got a little bit self-conscious, going, oh, well, now I'm not participating. Is this going to keep lasting? So I thought about that after the fact. The thoughts didn't come first. Those were the response to that. But just noticing that told me, it's like, well, hey, there's something about me that's anxious. I was like, oh, I should connect with myself, go into myself and see what's there. That was one of my goals, if it came up. And so I did. And for the life of me, I couldn't identify any emotions I was having inside. I didn't feel like I was anxious, but my body movement clearly showed I was anxious. And I thought about my thoughts. I'm like, did I have any thoughts? I'm like, no. It's like just only the thought about the fact that I already closed down after the fact. But there was no thoughts leading up to it. There was nothing. I couldn't identify any emotion in my body or in my head. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, okay, well, then I'm just going to keep standing this way right now. Try to tell myself, well, just relax. Let yourself be. No one's going to judge you. And for just holding yourself that way the way you need, and just let's see how it goes. Don't worry about if it's going to stick. And in about a minute or two, I just was joining in again, and I was fine. This morning when I was thinking about it, I thought about it, and then I actually responded to someone's comment, and that reminded me, because I'd forgotten, so I gave her credit for helping me to remember this. I was thinking about it, and I realized, maybe sometimes, the physical reaction, the closing up the body, is itself the emotional reaction. That is the emotional reaction. And maybe that's all that was yesterday. Like there was some part of me that just, you're going to have an ebb and flow of, hey, I've been participating. Maybe there's just for a moment, I subconsciously got a little anxious. But the way it expressed it was simply in the body motion. There was no other signs. And a lot of times there is going to be something else that's attached to it. There's going to be some thoughts or some other feelings, but I'll notice the physical things first. But maybe sometimes that's just the expression of the emotion, is what your body's doing, choosing to do at the time. And that made me realize that, hey, just connecting, noticing it first, and then connecting to see, hey, is there something else? And if there's nothing else, just realizing, well, okay, I'm processing the emotion. I still knew I was anxious because of the emotions. So I was able to just process that in the moment. So that's taught me that sometimes that's all it is. That itself is the expression of it. And so it was helpful. And it was a freaking awesome concert too. They are excellent musicians and performers. They know how to work a crowd. It's a good concert. And Bush too, they opened for him, and Morgan Wade opened first. So, my daily affirmations. I trust and allow myself to be seen as I am. My heart is open. And I would say that yesterday, in the way I was allowing myself to just do that, because there's also times when it got so loud, I had earplugs, but I took them out after a while because I just didn't like it. But there were times where it would just get too loud for me. So I just chose to cover both of my ears with my hands. And I was like, you know what? If other people see this, I'm not going to worry about it. It's what my ears need a break right now. And I would just kind of come and go that way. And I think I very well did trust and allow myself to be seen as I was last night when I was at the crowd in the concert. So I'm happy with that. So take care, everyone. Actually, I changed my mind. I am going to post this one out of order because it would be nice to post it right after it happened to go with the video where I already did. So it doesn't hurt posting them out of order once in a while. So take care. Oh, there was one more thing. I was also learning how to be part of a crowd in a concert. Not that this is the first concert I've been to, but I was noticing things. I mean, particularly because this is a big venue concert. I've never been to a concert that was in this big of a venue. But people like, raising their hands and doing whatever, some dancing and doing stuff. And for me, just raising my hands all the time to the musicians, I don't know, it just doesn't, some of my anxieties or self-consciousness doesn't allow that. But I also didn't really fully get it. But at one point, I saw the person next to me, they raised their hand. And I saw a few people in the crowd raise their hands. And I realized the musician, the guitarist at that point, who was up on the area, had turned toward us. And it clicked. I'm like, it's not about simply always raising your hands just randomly. As the musicians turned, people would raise their hands. And then when they turned the other way and looked at the other side of the crowd, they would lower their hands, and the people on the other side just raised their hands. And they were just holding their hand up. Nothing more. I was like, it's a form of communication. And it's not just simply always doing it. It's when they turn to you, and some people keep their arms up longer, but when they turn to you, that's when you raise your hands and you're just showing them, you're giving them your energy back. You're participating silently or with noise, but it's just another way of showing the musicians that you're into it and then you're listening. So it's a response. It's a back and forth response. And I didn't know that. I've never been in a concert that I would have been able to see that, because I've only been in small venue things where they're just always looking. And also, I don't pick up on that kind of stuff normally. But I was just seeing how people were acting, and then I was able to piece together going, oh, this is what's happening. I just didn't automatically pick it up. So I was kind of like learning. It's like, oh, okay. And so little pieces like that too. This is how you be at a concert, and this is the reasoning why behind you be how is at concert are. I think it's a good place to end now. See ya. Don't worry, it's all just a sit down, be you.